Hello everyone, welcome back to The Binding of Isaac with yours truly, Keza Goodwins. Last video we saw a very successful run with Cain. It got a little bit dicey at the end because I still seem to be a damage magnet, but we lucked out very well with some health up and damage items toward the end of the run, which allowed us to secure a victory against Mom's Heart. Continuing the trends of going through and systematically beating the game with every character, let's go ahead and work on Judas. Judas is kind of a mixed bag. He starts out with one heart, but he has better base damage, and he starts out with the Book of Belial, so his damage output is extremely high, but we really have to step up our dodging game in order to really take full effect of his skills. Let's go ahead and move on forward. And of course, what a horrible start. Once again, losing that Basement Boy achievement chance. Someday I will get it, I promise you. Oh wow. That was new, but we're back up to full health, so kind of a zero-sum scenario, but whatever. I'm gonna save my Book of Belial. It only takes 3 rooms to charge, but with the first floor of the basement, it's always hard to tell which rooms will have enemies and which will not. I kind of like Judas because he has a glass cannon feel to him. We're kind of wiping rooms fairly well, especially when we activate that Book of Belial, but at the same time, it's kind of harrowing because it becomes, you know, a very tense game. And that tenseness can lead to situations where you're taking damage where you really didn't have to. 48-hour energy, so I have a free charge of the Book of Belial. Gonna hunt for that item room, and probably with this elongated room right here, I'll go ahead and I'll save it for the super big room directly to the west. Got a key for our troubles. Yeah, recently we had a huge storm. Use that Book of Belial. We'll see that we have Bloody Tears, significantly larger and significant more damage. That's where Judas really finds his strength. Without that Book of Belial, it's, you know, it's a gamble, but this is kind of a good way to make to level the playing field, so to speak. Anyway, had a huge, what the hell? Leech bloodsucker. Oh, how interesting. Nice. Can't wait to use that. Some poor hapless sap. Hopefully he shits out hearts, because I'm gonna need them. Anyway, I keep getting sidetracked. Yeah, weather. Huge storm system blew through. In Anchorage, we only got a very small taste of it, but it hammered the Aleutian Islands pretty hard, I suppose. I haven't really... God damn you. No. Managed to squeak away from damage twice. Man, these gurglings, they just seem to be my Achilles heel. Anytime I go up against them, I just take a whole lot of just fucking retarded damage. Anyway, once again, sidetracked. Pay attention. Oh, thank God. Health up. Gives us a little bit of leeway. And I didn't... Fucking hell. Keep forgetting that I have that Book of Belial. That would have been a perfect opportunity to do it. Would have breezed right through that, maybe not taking so much stupid damage. Ridiculously stupid damage. Dumb fuck. God damn it, Kenny, you son of a bitch. Capricorn, all stats up. Ah, cute. Anyway, after I clear this room, I'm gonna go back to the curse room, because fuck it. I feel like lucky. I feel like lucky. I feel lucky, and you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Tears down. It's kind of a drag. Guppy's paw and spiders. Still waiting for a heart out of you, you son of a bitch. God damn it. Oh well. Got a bomb out of it. That's fine. I'm going to not worry about Guppy's paw. I don't feel like losing the heart containers that I worked so hard to gain. But yes, I am in Anchorage, Alaska, and we've been having another ridiculously mild winter. I cannot wait for it to hit, for a winter to really set in. Last year, the lower 48, as the contiguous United States are often referred to up here, saw a series of absolutely just weeks worth of shit weather. And we maintained a fairly high temperature all the way through to almost January. And I've lived up here all my life, and I've never seen winters as mild as last year's and as mild as this year is shaping up to be. It's kind of nice. A little spoiling, as a matter of fact. Because when it really does get cold, I'm gonna whine. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not really one of those people who bitch about the weather. I acclimate myself pretty well in any situation. Went to Illinois for the first time last year to meet the girlfriend's family, and it was fairly warm for the most part. Nothing too uncomfortable. I sweated an awful lot, but that wasn't so bad. Here we have Gimpy, not sure what that does still, and the Pact, which I know for sure gives at least damage up. Do I risk it? Let's try out the Devil I Don't Know. I'm sure I've picked this up once or twice, but whatever effects it has are lost on me. But that's okay, we'll discover it together. Excuse me. But like I said, I've lived in Alaska most of my life. Haven't had the opportunity to travel out very, very much. Went to California as a young tender tot. My mom moved back and forth between Anchorage and California. Got to see Disneyland when I was 5, which I still remember to this day. The best parts about it were going along on Space Mountain, watching Captain EO, and if you don't know what Captain EO is, it was a movie that Disney produced that starred Michael Jackson. I don't really remember specifics of it, but I do know that the very last scene had some weird, fuzzy little, like, kind of gizmo gremlin creature fading off, like, zooming out, or rather moving away from the camera and waving to the audience, and that's all I remember of it. Which, I'm glad that I was able to see it when I did, because I believe a few years after that it was discontinued. It might still be running, but I haven't really looked into it. But at the same time, it's kind of like, it's nice to remember Michael Jackson before he went just fucking batshit insane. Given this situation that he grew up in, kind of easy to understand. I'd be kind of fucked up too if, you know, I was pushed into stardom. But be that as it may, we got the Harlequin baby, double shot buddy, does little split shots. But yes, I've been to California, I've been to Rhode Island. That was a semesters worth of college. Little insight on me. Didn't get my first girlfriend until I was 18, 2 weeks after I graduated high school. Simply because the high school that I went to, it wasn't a place that I really got on with as far as people go. I hadn't grown into my social skin, and as a matter of fact, I was, believe it or not, fairly ridiculed on a regular basis. But full health, that's good to know. But as soon as I got away from high school, I kind of blossomed, as so many of us often do. And I used my high school career. A lot of kids, and one of the reasons that I was ridiculed is that, you know, a lot of high schoolers are all about, you know, oh, let's party and do chicks. Well, do chicks. You know, do drugs, have sex and all that, and I wasn't interested in any of it. There wasn't any particular females that... fucking blind shot. There weren't any females that piqued my interest in that way. So I just kind of, you know, did my thing, concentrated on getting out of high school, and by extension, getting out of Alaska. And I decided on university in Rhode Island. Fit very well with what I was looking for. I decided that I wanted to be an accountant when I was 15. I enjoyed working in my accounting class. I got it. You know, it just flowed with me for some reason, and it's what I do today, albeit without a college education. But one of the nice things about living in Alaska is that there isn't quite as much emphasis on... What am I even looking for? I'm looking for the shop. I passed it a while ago. There's not as heavy an insistence on college education. It's definitely approved, and you should absolutely go to college. In fact, I'm planning on going back to college at some point. But it's not, you know, the be-all, end-all. If you know the right people and you show the right gumption, a word that I've never seriously used before today. Let's go down to Guppy's tail. I'm gonna pass. I don't need more chests. Although more of them could be cursed chests, which could, you know, segue into more soul hearts, but... Excuse me, I have to preserve the hearts I have. I seem to be doing a fair amount of damage, which is always good. But yeah, high school, socially speaking, was horrible. Didn't enjoy it at all. My only real purpose was to get out. I enjoyed education far too much, but it was having to deal with all the people and all the, you know, shitbag high school students. Kind of killed the whole experience for me. But I got out of it unscathed. And yeah. Anyway, kind of a long tail at the end of that kite, but I've been to Rhode Island for college, which was a very interesting experience going from Alaska my entire life. I had a straight shotgun. God damn it, I'm taking way too many hits. Fortunately, that leech seems to be keeping me in fairly good health. Oh, does the Gimp provide soul hearts randomly when you get damaged? Thank God. Lord knows I need it. But I've been to Seattle, of course. I've been to Georgia. That was fun. Oh yeah, talking about Rhode Island. It was an interesting experience going from Wasilla, where I grew up. Yes, the home city of Sarah Palin. And going from, you know, little small town to straight in the middle of Providence, Rhode Island was interesting to say the least. But I got through it alright. I enjoyed being there, but having gotten my first girlfriends and puppy love just absolutely overwhelming my better judgment, the gang kid disappeared in the basement. I left college behind to pursue a relationship that sadly didn't work. Part of the reason being that when I got back, I kind of lost all the direction and focus that I had exhibited getting out of high school. I took way too much time trying to figure out, you know, what do I want to do, where do I want to go from here. It looks like I can use the blood bank to leverage myself into more soul hearts, which if I can do, I absolutely will. Still floating at 60 coins for the donation, but c'est la vie. Nice! Hey, you give me that. But yeah, I got to the point where it was an absolute detriment. Like I said, lost... Ooh, Eternal Heart. I'm gonna save that. Lost all direction. Didn't know what I wanted to do with myself. I was stuck 300 miles away from home in a relationship that went downhill, mostly because when I lost all direction, I became a miserable fat bastard. Well, thankfully I'm just miserable, I'm no longer fat, but at any rate, yeah, I've been to Seattle, I've been to Georgia, I went all up and down the East Coast, which I'm absolutely thankful for. I've seen the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty. I've been to Jersey. No desire to ever go back. The only good thing about Jersey is the Coney dogs, but other than that, spent a week in Philadelphia. That was a trip. If I ever get the opportunity, I will absolutely go back. Knowing what I know now, I will definitely bring along a bulletproof vest, and we'll kind of go from there. But just recently, my adventures took me to Illinois, like I said, to meet the girlfriend's family, and it went really, really well. I enjoyed it. I've never seen so much corn in one place in my entire life. And that was interesting, because Alaska, for the most part, it's pretty, you know, it's pretty close. It's a huge state, but the population centers, excuse me, are fairly dense. And going from, you know, somewhat urban, you know, close-knit environment, at least in Anchorage, to nothing but cornfields. And here, Indiana's worse for that, but I'm kind of scared to find out for myself. It's not easy going from mountains and, you know, roads that actually end to just miles and miles of stretches of just road and farms, and that's it. The trip to Illinois also had a stopover in both Minneapolis, which is the second time I've gone, the Mall of America, which, if you can believe it, is expanding, because gotta love that American ego. It's no longer the biggest one in the world. For the longest time it was. When we went in, what was it, June, July? They were breaking ground on an entire fucking football stadium of addition to the Mall of America, which is already obscenely huge. So that was fun. I got to see that before construction went underway, which, if you know, if you hadn't told me, I never would have believed it. It's like, why? It's already the biggest. But that lovely American ego of ours, gotta love it. America! Anyway, let's see, I did go to Georgia, and that's where my dad lives. Went to visit him. Interesting place where he lives. I touched down in Atlanta, and everything you've heard about the traffic situation down there is absolutely true, and I can only imagine that it's gotten worse since I've been. It's definitely not a place I would ever want to voluntarily drive. But yeah, I've seen a little bit of the States. I absolutely would love to see more as time passes, and now that I've got myself a nice stable relationship that, you know, has a job and isn't afraid of working and all that good stuff, might be able to ooh, you know what? Fuck waiting. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna get myself that extra heart container right now. Granted, I'm taking a whole lot of time to get back there, but it's definitely worth it. And then I lost my train of thought again. So easily sidetracked. Ba-boom. But yeah, it's my hope that I'm able to travel an awful lot more. Which is kind of silly, because at the same time, it's kind of like, well, I'm 32 years old, not getting any younger, which I don't necessarily have a biological clock ticking away, but at some point I'd like to, you know, get that family started, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if she earns it. Shit. See if I earn it. If my, I'm so glad that my relationship isn't based on my Binding of Isaac skills, because I would be one lonely motherfucker. Excuse me. Double Trouble, we're definitely going to use Book of Belial right off the bat. Look at those. And then I still managed to get fucking hit by him. Doing a fair amount of damage. Little Chub is helping in that regard. Just fucking tearing him apart. Other than that, you know, that needless hit, I think I'm doing pretty good. Plus, I've got so many items that just drop hearts straight out of the gate. Got a Spirit Heart, Speedball, speed plus shot speed up, some Evil Hearts. I've remarked that there's almost certainly negative connotations that go along with that, but at this point, I don't really care. My voice is getting kind of raspy. At any rate, I've taken way too long. The stopwatch is gone. Laser spiders. Seriously? Fucking dumb. Whatever. Dust yourself off. Get back on the horse. Cliche, cliche, cliche. Oh god. Wallmaster-esque. Once again, establishing firmly the Legend of Zelda influence of the Binding of Isaac. Nothing special there. Book of Revelations, reusable soul protection. I'll go ahead and use it just this once. Any more after that, and it becomes kind of a liability. I can use the Book of Belial much more often than I can use the Book of Revelations. Plus, using the Book of Revelations guarantees almost certainly guarantees a fight with a four horsemen, or one of the four horsemen. I can talk, I swear to God. But after this point, God, motherfucking God, cocksucker, getting angry. After this floor, its usefulness is drastically reduced because we don't want to explore the womb any more than we absolutely have to, and we aren't going to be needing, in theory anyway, the one soul heart for every 6 rooms. Battery charges notwithstanding, to make it a very viable fucking cunt. Okay, I'm really getting heated, getting frustrated. Not with the enemies, but with myself, because I'm putting myself in these situations that I really have no business putting myself into. I'm just gonna go ahead and move forward. I've already got the items. I'm not gonna have enough coins to go to the shop, so there's really no point in me sticking around any longer than I already have. Wasting way too much time. And plus, I mean, there's very little chance that I'll be able to get anything that's any more useful than what I already have. Flatworm, blub blub. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna stick with this, though. If I had to guess, I'd say it allows for way more dropped hearts. Which clearly, once again, I desperately need. Kind of saving my Justice card. You cunt. Whatever. I'll use my. Ooh. Nice. So I'll get yet another heart container, assuming that I don't A, pick it up, and B, lose it. Knocked War off his high horse. Hell of a lot speedier, kind of reminiscent of Gemini, but I'm much faster, can zone him out. Gonna get my cube of meat. Open that up. 2 more soul hearts. I think the way it works with Guppy is if you get 3 Guppy items at once, you turn into Guppy. Kind of a spoilery here, but again, I don't know if it works the same way. It's a very, very nice little secret for you. But at this point, even if I did have it, I wouldn't be able to make much use of it at this point. And it's always useful, of course, but I don't think it's worth the 2 hearts I would be losing to gain access to that. So, of course, I forget about the Book of Belial. You know, for all the talking up I did of the usefulness of it, I'm sure not using it an awful lot. Let's go ahead and pop out a couple. I'm fairly certain I'll be able to replace that half heart. One bad thing, I suppose, about making the pop it a couple more times with the hopes that I get the not the Ivy bag. I don't want the Ivy bag. It's ridiculous. But I got a soul heart out of the deal, so it's not so bad. One bad thing about making the agreement, not that you necessarily care, but I sure do, about playing or having all my playthroughs recorded, is that I can't really use any off time to, you know, sharpen my skills. And that may be a rule that I eventually end up breaking. But at this point, I'm just kind of rolling with it. Still kind of daddy long legs. Oh yeah. I think I've gotten this before, but we see the little shadow faintly. He'll come down and occasionally stomp my enemies to death. Totally okay with that. And as we saw right there, it can be extremely useful, even though I took damage in the worst way possible by the rolling guts. But c'est la vie. I suppose that wouldn't have made a difference anyway. So, yay on me, wasting a bomb. Now, this is a situation that I'm inclined to use the Ivy bag. Because that broken watch has proven insanely useful. And even though I'm all about mixing it up as far as item pulls go at the same time. I'm not going to deny myself a victory at this point. Still not quite at the point where I can consistently, or at least not to the point that I feel I can consistently cut out wins, regardless of what items are dropped. But, you know, we will get there over time. I may, like I said, end up breaking my rule about off-camera plays, simply because of the level of pain in the ass that it is to not only compress my videos, god damn it, but upload them. It's very time consuming, and I can only record a couple of videos at a time, which means that my available playtime is severely reduced if I want to put these out on a fairly regular basis. And through that conversation, we've pretty much killed Mom exceedingly easy, and I didn't even use the Book of Belial. I keep bloody forgetting. I'm absolutely going to use it on my fight with Mom's heart. But we've set ourselves up fairly well going into the womb. Not going to say that it's an absolute certainty that I win, but at this point, it's looking pretty good. Curse of the Labyrinth. What we have here is an extra large level, which means that there are going to be 2 boss fights. If there were item rooms, there would be 2 item rooms spread out across the level, not necessarily together, which means a lot more time spent exploring. But since we don't have to worry about item rooms or shops, as soon as we find the boss, we'll be able to crank out both boss fights and hopefully see an end to this playthrough. Absolutely hoping against hope that we can get that win streak to 4. But I know far better than to count my chickens before they hatch. And here we see... Oh, couldn't really get myself out of that. And I was just about to say I might be able to get the Mama's Boy achievement. Wouldn't that be a trip? Can't do dick for it in the basement, but against ostensibly the hardest level available to us at this moment, be able to squeak out the no-hit achievement. Excuse me. That would be funny. I would laugh hysterically. Probably right after I beat myself senseless. But that's more out of anger at my absolute shite playing. I've managed to get quite a few wins in, but at the same time, a lot of it feels sloppy. And I pop that trigger button. So, you'll die in one shot. Why not? Fortunately, I don't think I'll be finding the boss fight all that quickly. These cysts are much more of a pain in the ass than they used to be. But with all the damage upgrades that I've gotten over this playthrough, I feel like I'm handling everything fairly well. But anyway, like I said, I'm doing alright. I'm certainly not up to the standards that I hold myself to, and a lot of them come off as kind of sloppy. Once again, I can attribute it to infrequent playing, but at the same time it feels kind of like a poor excuse, as far as I'm concerned. The broken watch taken in effect here, it's absolutely nothing I'm going to complain about. I'd like to know if it takes effect during Mom's heart. Here we have the Fallen. Haven't seen this guy in a while. Seem to be handling him fairly well. Woo! Squeaked my way out of damage on that one. Nice! And Horror Babylon. It's not really going to do anything for me. And here we are with Mom's Heart. Immediately popping the Book of Belial so I don't fucking forget. Taking care of these eyeballs. Woo! One tag me. Ah, it's such a pain in the ass trying to get over to him. So I got 5 hits left. I'm gonna see if I can coax the leech to heading over there, but no, it's just standing there like an idiot. Oh god. Ah, we nailed her. Nice. Everything is terrible. Got that trophy. I could go and fight the devil, but in the interest of watching all the endings,
Isaac!
oh! Damn! I'm gonna skip through the credits. And everything just got harder. I apologize for that noise. Mic got caught up on the cord. So an already hard game is made even harder. And it will be made even more harder once I get to the point that I feel comfortable taking on hard mode. But we have a 4-win streak, absolutely unprecedented. Had a lovely time with Judas, got kind of sketchy there at the ends, but generally most of them do. At some point I'm gonna have to actively not get hearts. I'm probably gonna use Maggie for this one. I'm not quite sure if the Yum Heart counts as picking up a heart, but we'll definitely find out. And then Samson will come along when I finally manage to get one of the non-damage taking achievements. That's gonna be my my Achilles heel for the time being. But we've already beaten Mom's Heart and Satan with Azazel, as I've mentioned before. Still have to knock it out with Lazarus, and that'll be the next video. Hope you join me then. For now, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.